3. Hello, dear Argaw. Welcome to Dhugaa Dubbadha. Dhugaa Dubbadha is, I took this concept from the Oromo philosophy. It tells two things. Dhugaa Dubbadha, when you are invited at a household and you are offered with a beverage, it could be, local, like cultural drink or coffee or, it could be also water for that matter. So when guests talk and engage into this dialogue, the host reminds them, don't forget or don't abandon the nourishment of your body for the nourishment of your mind. That means please drink while you are talking. That is also very important. The second meaning is, when guests are debating some issue and the host or any person who suspects that one or both are lying, respectfully interrupts them and say "Dhugaa Dubbadha." That means tell the truth, speak what is real. So this show also carries both meanings. That means we will drink coffee together or any beverage of your taste, and then we will talk deeply about what matters most, and we will tell the facts. That is the promise of Dhugaa Dubbadha. Since I say the show involves a drink, I would like to say also, cheers to you. And what do you have with yourself?
I have a coffee here.
That is also, comes with us from homeland, which is
Ethiopian coffee, yep.
Very well known Ethiopian coffee. I also enjoy while talking with people, having coffee. So we know each other, way back. I was also working for local media in Ethiopia for about 5 years. And I think 2009 or 2010 is when we knew each other. At that time, you were working for also Daily Nations, Kenya-based media, and also as a freelancer for other activities, I think. Please, can you briefly introduce yourself, what, who you are, what you do, and then we can take from then on.
As you mentioned, I've been working in local media too since 1998. Then I moved to the regional media, the nation media group across like 6 African nations in the region. Then I've been engaged in development workers and organizing journalists and capacity building activities. And I used to work in non-profit organizations called Panos, and I have some engagement in media capacity building too. Mainly, I identify myself as a journalist because I'm it's always I'm doing journalism. Then now, currently, the last 13 years, I'm engaged with Wazema Radio, and I'm a managing editor of Wazema Radio and the co-founder of the organization too.
And you are based in the US?
Yeah, currently I'm based in the US, but Wazema is based, for some time it was based in Ethiopia, but currently we have some difficulties there. Otherwise, the operation is everywhere else. I'm moving from one place to another place too. So currently now I'm talking to you from United States.
All right, thank you very much. We'll come to the challenges that you want to mention later. I just want to talk about the information ecosystem in Ethiopia and the general Horn of Africa, for that matter. It is very fragmented, especially still the dominant is oral tradition, house way of exchanging information. That is, I think, in my view, is colliding with the speed the technology is developing and bringing us a new form of communication. And from your reporting experience, what do you see this collision causing the most harm, and what does it look like on the ground from what your source shares with you?
Yeah, it's a very important point, and the collision between the oral media, the traditional way of communication, versus the growing new digital technology, the mainstream media. It's a very fascinating area to explore. What I've seen is the change is very rapid, because in Horn of Africa region, particularly in Ethiopia, we have a very large number of traditional society rely on social communications instead of the mainstream media. Still, the mainstream media is very crucial to provide basic informations about the stability, politics, business, or whatever. And for a long time, we had radio, television, and the newspaper. Most of the rural community is reached by radio, and we have 1 or 2 radio stations in Ethiopia. The population is now reaching like 140 million, but the changes now is very, very revolutionary. Now, in the last nearly 20 years, we have social media, we have internet. Still, the penetration of the internet is limited, but the information accessibility is dramatically changed. So now people are relying on the Facebook posts and social media posts in certain urban areas, particularly the youth.
Yeah.
But I can say the rural community, the farmers, the pastoralists, still they are not part of that information ecosystem. They are still relying on the mainstream media. The mainstream media is shrinking in terms of capacity, outreach, and because everybody is shifting to the digital media. I'm not saying the mainstream media is not important, but needs more capacity, new approach, and reaching the old traditional audiences. Otherwise, the contradiction between the growing new media versus the traditional media and our oral history. That's our oral history. It's still important, I can say. It is very crucial because people are surviving with that oral information about their health issue, about their cattle, about the farm, about the peace and security. They are sharing information. In Afar area, that's the most popular Dagu traditional communication, and we have in Oromia, we have some in southern Ethiopian region. Also, people are highly relying on the oral communication. The oral communication is still important, but it's challenged by the growing digital media platform because the technology is more accessible, particularly some in other African countries. It's growing fast. So like in Kenya now, people are moving from reading the physical newspaper to scrolling on their phones. So they are doing their banking in their cell phone. So that's like a change. So there is something is going on, and the traditional communication is also under pressure, I can say.
Yeah. I've seen the recent research from United Nations University by some authors who try to, connect this chain of how, especially since this show is also about disinformation, how disinformation channels from, social media to analog and from analog to oral tradition. And the worrisome part of it is that somebody who have a smartphone in Ethiopia might look some disinformation posted online, and maybe they don't have the capability to ask after what is the motive of this post, why is it posted, what kind of agenda it serves, who is this person, what kind of benefits they want to get from this post. They don't ask often after that, other than liking and sharing it. And then when they get back to their rural area or to their community, they share this through words of mouth, and then the public, the neighbors, accept that as a true. And that is also really the worrisome part I see of the collision between traditional and the digital world of how we transfer information. Since we briefly mentioned about conflicts, in Ethiopia, unfortunately, this has been our part of history. The country has never been without conflict. Currently, there are active 2 internal conflicts. Some call it wars. One is in Oromia and the other is in Amhara. One is looming from the horizon of Tigray region. When it comes to reporting, there is this media organization called The Conversation. It is a world leading publisher of research-based news and analysis. It is based in Melbourne, Australia. Their study shows that international media coverage of Ethiopia's conflict is heavily skewed, with over 77% of stories focusing on Tigray war, while conflicts in Oromia and Amhara receive marginal attention. You have probably even observed it during the last, I think the last week on Monday, there was a conflict between federal or Ethiopian military force with Tigray-based, military forces. And at least I observed it, how international media try to catch this story and report on it. I'm not saying that they shouldn't report, but they forgot that the country is still having two active wars. And my question to you is that what are the consequences of this global coverage gap for Ethiopia's information space, and how does that create a vacuum for disinformation to fill?
Yes, I think that there is some reasons why the Tigray conflict gets bigger attention, because TPLF was in power and they established a very huge network of support and diplomatic networking and reputation and so on. And also TPLF is one of the oldest political group, more than 5 decades old. So that gives them some leverage on getting media attention, global media attention. That's one factor. The other factor is international media is always is not getting Ethiopia right. That's my personally is my frustration. Always I see some flyover reporters are just jumping to Ethiopia, and some news agencies are more attention for areas like Tigray. That, as you mentioned, I'm not saying the conflict or the war in Tigray is not supposed to be reported, but the understanding about the Ethiopian security structure by the international media, it's something wrong. They don't understand it. So the other issue is the scope and the impact of the conflict. The conflict in Amhara and Oromia region is like burning underground there. It's consumed the local communities, the local economy, and it's still going on. The Oromia conflict is now it's maybe 6.5 years, and the Amhara region is more than 3 years. And nobody sees the real consequence of that conflict. So the media also is a victim, even the local media.
Mm-hmm.
The international media is sometimes relying on the reporting of the local media. So now we go to the next point. Why the local media is not covering Amhara and Oromia region? The Ethiopian government is not allowing you to go and see what's going on in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, we are relying on social media posts and statements from the armed group spokesperson or someone from the leadership, whatever they said. Okay, this guy is saying this one, that information ecosystem. So the international media is trying to research the situation in Ethiopia. They see some English language reporting from Ethiopia that's very limited in Amhara and Oromia region. So still they have limited information. But when you come to the Tigrayans have a wide network, and some are based in overseas, and they reported their case widely. Then they get more attention.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the size, the military capability, and the history of the TPLF and the geographical position of Tigray also, have some special interest, because Tigray is bordering Eritrea, and the other side is Sudan, and any conflict in Tigray it's going to have a spillover effect on Eritrea and other countries. Although that's also grabbing attention, but as a journalist and from the media point of view, government restriction on reporting the conflicts, that's have a serious impact on bringing the truth, the fact, properly to the international media, even to the local audience too. That's something. Still, it's very highly restricted. Reporting in Amhara region, you maybe remember some people are arrested because they try to report in Oromia because of government doesn't want to. So now the information flow is just coming from the rebels to the public through social media. Sometimes it's not accurate, sometimes it's fake, sometimes it's very hateful, and we don't know is it true or not. That kind of situation. So that's like the feature of the situation, the overall situation.
Yeah, that is also my question. I mean, I, as a journalist, also face a lot of, disinformation shared online. Even today, it's added with AI, artificial intelligence, showing war atrocities, conflicts that doesn't really represent what is going on the ground, or at least they don't give the credibility or where they take why they produce this using AI or why they share this information. They don't put it so the public knows it is generated by AI. Do you have any example that you could share that you faced recently? And that is also maybe could be narrative, could be image and so on, deliberately designed to mislead communities in Ethiopia. And what patterns have you observed it? Especially also when these disinformation actors share that kind of information online, they try to assert their agenda, their interest. And what patterns have you seen across these actors, so to say?
Oh yeah, I think that's not it's a one-time incident. It's now it's everyday challenge for us, like reporting on the conflicts. Even sometimes we are preferring not to report the thing overall because of it's very contradicting and sometimes not reliable unless we get a verification, unless we get to the ground, unless we get very fact straight. We are preferring not to report in even in some cases these days because there is huge misinformation and disinformation is part of the armed struggle now. It's like on its DNA because people thinks in the older days, I think in the wartime countries when they go to war they use the propaganda. Is that I think the Second World War is one of the good example. There is a huge campaign of propaganda. Nowadays, it's with a new technology. Then completely you get the point is very wrong if you follow the social media. The actual thing happened in the ground is most likely it's very slippery. It's very we have couple of incidents like that, so we are extremely careful on that. And sometimes we miss reporting the facts sometimes because of we're afraid to grab anything. The misinformation actors are not only the rebel groups or interest groups. There are many actors around. One is the armed groups themselves. The other one is interest groups based in different locations, even overseas or in the country, either ethnic interest, other economic interest, whatever. Even government is part of the misinformation campaign. Government have its own, particularly in Ethiopia's situation, we know government have its own network and they mobilize their army of social media activists, and they are the one also keep posting misinformation. Then for the media it's a challenge. So as a media, the best thing is just not only fact checked, even sometimes it's beyond fact check. You have to get the fact right from the ground. You have to be the trends are like fake victory, like fake like human rights violation, killings, burning of the house, closure of the road, bombing, drone attack, whatever. We know there is a drone attack, there is a victims, there are issues affecting the community. But government is not allowing the journalists go there and to fact check. So we are relying on the social media. That would be the most challenging task for journalists. So that is the current situation. So we are dealing with that as much as possible. We are trying to go directly to the sources and trying to get the fact right.
Okay.
But we are forced to avoid reporting conflicts because reporting conflicts needs expertise and good resource. For local media, smaller media houses, it's not manageable at all.
That is unfortunate, especially
Yes.
when we talk today about disinformation and from the US to the Europe, there is huge cutting from media development and supporting media, including the US aid. Here in Germany also, there are big cuts to media organizations working in the continent. That is a big minus to journalists like us, but also it's a good opportunity for disinformation actors and propagandists because they feel that gap and use it. That is also the worry, when we speak of fact checking. I've been involved in establishing a fact checking platform and running a team, and which is really helpful in countering or disinformation and misinformation and hate speech. But at the back of my head is that this is not really very helpful. Some are even recommending debunking is not really important. Pre-bunking is good. Pre-bunking means then right on the spot, when the information comes out, on the spot, kill the information so that the public will not get this disease, so to say. And my worry is that this too even doesn't work because the speed that digital information connects people together and how that information channels distributed to people is impossible to stop that kind of information. And is there any solution that technically or journalistically that you suggest would be a good way to counter disinformation?
Yeah, the best solution is freedom. In a country or in a place, there is a vibrant and reliable media reporting, the level of misinformation is less. The harm, particularly the harm, is going to be very, very less because you have a reliable media outlet, accessible media outlet, tells you the truth. That's it. You don't need any third party or unknown person behind the social media to tell you what's going on. Now, why the disinformation is become very complicated? You have a repression, you have less capacity, you have less freedom. Then the media have no initiative to report about the case, and some individuals are gambling around that information and creating a lot of mess. And in Ethiopia, we had that issue for the last 1 decade. It's now it's become normal. Misinformation is a big issue because of the ethnic polarization, because of the political fragmentation, and also I can say the government also involving on this misinformation campaign for its own purpose. All those things are combined. It's a very huge issue. The other thing, as you mentioned, the fact checking is become a new form of disinformation too. Mm-hmm. Fact checking, when it started like 9-10 years ago, it's like a solution at the time. Now governments are sponsoring a fact checking small organizations, government sponsored. They came with a disinformation in telling you this is a fact. We fact checked. because those are known organizations here and there. We know that. So they fact check organizations, but they are misleading you. That is a very, very new phenomenon, and it's also another challenging thing. The overall the social media and the marriage between social media and politics now increasingly new leaders of Africa is become social media savvy. You know, in West Africa now, the new young leaders, even in Ethiopia, or our leaders also are, instead of giving a press briefing or answering a question, they are on social media. They are with us there. So they don't need a media to ask them a question, and that's they miss a big thing. But that's the overall thing is very, very challenging. So that's the reason I said there is a vibrant, strong media institution there asking a question on behalf of the public. Media is not just a business. Media is like it's an institution to make government accountable, government operate in the right way, and reflects the interest of the public. That is the media. No, media is not established to make a profit. It's good media if it makes the profit, that's good. But the main idea between having a vibrant media is not a luxury, not to make someone a millionaire or not to make journalists happy. It is an important and crucial component of the government. Not in the government seat, outside of the government seat. That's why the fourth estate we call it, but it's a very important thing. Now that important idea is like pushed away from the table, and people are now thinking, no, I can talk to the people directly myself. And they grab the microphone and they talk and record, and the drone recording, whatever, a very fancy kind of video are released for the public. But still the public have a question. The question is not addressed. So governments have a vast interest on social media, and they are part of the disinformation activity. So we are in a very difficult situation to point a finger even to one direction. It's like it's all around.
Yeah. I appreciate your perspective. I see also, fact checking, on the ground in Ethiopia, even media organizations, working hard to inform the public despite the political challenges. And you've mentioned, your media is not facing that burn, so to say. Yeah? And you know how operating locally means. I see at this standard recently, not recently, but since last year, I see, their offices closed or journalists arrested and so on. But what I miss is that I don't see networks, regional cooperation, regional collaborations, that could probably ease or strengthen the media organizations, and then, and counter disinformation or other misleading content. Could you see that as an alternative to not only countering disinformation, but also strengthening media to work together, including your media?
Yeah, that's a brilliant idea. Collaboration and having a joint operation in some context. That's the most noble idea. Because we lack a capacity, individually in Ethiopian context, particularly independent media like us, we are lacking capacity. We are small shops here and there. If we collaborate, we are like bridging the gap each other. So that is the best solution. Some of us have expertise on some things, another media have more expertise on the other thing. Even our regional focus also is different. We are more of national. This standard is national, but having a relative advantage in Oromia, we know that. So Ethiopian Insider is another media, Reporter is another media. The collaboration, that collaboration, there was an attempt in, you may remember, in the long time ago, there is a collaboration and there is a conversation about it. But Ethiopian media never had a quiet time to focus on the capacity aspect. Whenever we start the capacity thing, the safety and the freedom issue is popping up in the other side. So always we are dealing with emergencies. Your office is raided, your journalists are arrested, all sorts of the problems. Now, additional problems, some independent media organizations, alternative financial resource and support is also drained. That's also another challenge. So still we need to collaborate, but I think it's a time to sit and discuss about it once again, and to think, because Ethiopian media space is shrinking, because the old traditional newspapers are now, their copies are, I think, reduced by 60% or plus, and they are based on online. That's a natural process. At the same time, it's a weakening of capacity and resource. So for online-based media, there is an opportunity, but we have to improve our capacity, our outreach, skills, and needs a collaboration. Then even after all, we have to speak in the same voice to the government to tell them we need a space. We have to contribute positively for the country, for peace building, for development. We have a role to play there. We need to tell them that this one now, they are labeling you like, you may aware about it. Government is labeling us at this standard, and maybe some other media organizations as against the national interest. We don't know what's national interest, which national interest we are against, but and unethical reporting, nothing present for us. It's like a vague kind of claim, and we need a space. That's the country is for all of us. Ethiopia is for everybody there. Is one of us are an enemy, the other one is like the owner of the country. It's not that kind of segmentation is not good. We know that we are not serving the government. The government is not supposed to expect the media is like a servant of the government propaganda. We're not doing that. If we do that, it's a waste of resource. Government have its own communication, whatever, offices to do that. Our role is to speak mostly against the government, the wrongdoings. We speak on behalf of the public. Yeah, journalists and the media houses are not clean. We have our shortcomings. We are facing our own challenges. We need to improve that, yes, but not by attacking and cracking down against the media. I think that's not the solution. So the collaboration part is important. I think we have a backdoor conversation with some media organizations every time, but still it's not something on the table to discuss yet. I hope it will be happening maybe sooner or later.
Yeah, I use this opportunity also and invites, Dhugaa Dubbadha and Wazema Radio invites all the audience who have involved in media and or support media to join us and, realize this collaboration. And we are ready to do that. That brings us to the end of another episode of Dhugaa Dubbadha today. I sat down today with Argaw Ashine, a journalist with decades of experience on front lines of truth-telling in the Horn of Africa. We explored how disinformation moves through our communities, how it exploits our trust, our emotions, and our divisions, of course. We talked about the hard realities, the fragmentation of our information space, and also how disinformation divides, the community, especially community in conflict scenario. And here, what I would say, my take today is that disinformation is not just a problem for journalists or fact checkers. It is a problem for all of us. Everyone who shares a message, who forwards a voice notes, or share videos and contents on social media. So before we share posts, we pause for a second and ask ourselves, who created this? Why? What evidence supports that? And could this be designed to make me afraid, angry, divided, emotional, and so on? That is how we fight back disinformation. One share at a time, and then we question that share, that post. In closing, I say, the name of this show is Dhugaa Dubbadha. It's drink while you talk. That's why we have coffee today. Nourish our body, and also this show nourish our mind. But importantly, we also talk truths. We share truths, live truths. That's the promise of this show, and that is the promise we make to you. If you found value in today's conversation, please subscribe, like, and share this episode. Help us spread the truth. Help us fight disinformation. And if you have ideas for future topics, or if you have a story to tell, reach out. This is your space. Dhugaa Dubbadha belongs to all of us. Until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and always Dhugaa Dubbadha. Thank you, Argaw, for your time and interest again.
Thank you for inviting me, Merga.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.